Marcus had everything. He had a big house with a garden. He had a good job at a company in the city. He had a wife named Diana and a young son named Leo. Every morning, he woke up and drank his coffee on the porch. He listened to the birds. He felt safe. But life can change very fast. It started small. His company lost money. Then it lost more money. One Tuesday morning, his boss called him into a small room and said, "I'm sorry, Marcus. We have to let you go." Marcus sat in that room for a long time after his boss left. He looked at his hands. They were empty. He told himself it was okay. He would find another job. Things like this happened to people. He was strong. But weeks passed. Then months. He sent many emails. He went to many interviews. Nobody called him back. The money in the bank got smaller and smaller. He started to feel afraid. At home, things got harder too. Diana tried to stay calm, but Marcus could see the worry in her eyes. They stopped talking the way they used to. The house felt quiet in a bad way. Leo asked once, "Daddy, why are you always sad?" Marcus did not know what to say. One evening in December, Diana sat down across from him at the kitchen table. She spoke quietly. She said she was tired. She said she needed more. She said she was sorry. 2 months later, Marcus was living alone in a small apartment. It had one window. It looked out at a gray wall. He had a bed, a table, 2 chairs, and a box of old books. That was all. He did not feel strong anymore. Some mornings, Marcus did not get out of bed. He lay there and looked at the ceiling. He thought about all the things he had lost. The house, his job, his family. He thought, how did this happen? Where did I go wrong? He stopped eating well. He stopped calling his friends. He watched television for hours, but did not remember what he saw. He felt like he was disappearing. One night, very late, he sat by his one small window. The street outside was empty. A light rain was falling. He thought, is this my life now? And then something strange happened. He started to cry. He had not cried in a very long time. He had tried to be strong for so long. But now, alone in his small apartment, he cried for a long time. He cried for Diana. He cried for Leo. He cried for the man he used to be. He cried until he felt empty. And then, slowly, he felt something else. He felt quiet. Not a sad quiet. A different kind. Like the air after a heavy rain. He looked around his small apartment. He saw his box of books. On top was an old book his father had given him years ago. It was about a man who walked across a desert alone. Marcus had never read it. He picked it up. He read until morning. The next day, Marcus got up early. He made coffee. He opened his window. The air was cold and fresh. He thought about the man in the book. That man had nothing in the desert. No water. No map. No one to help him. But he kept walking. One step. Then another. He did not think about the whole desert. He thought only about the next step. Marcus decided to try something small. He put on his shoes and walked outside. He walked around the block. Then he walked around again. It was not much. But he did it. The next day, he walked a little further. He noticed a small park near his apartment. There was an old man there who sat on a bench every morning with a newspaper. Marcus started to say hello to him. The old man's name was Robert. He had kind eyes and a slow smile. Robert was 72 years old. He had lost his wife 10 years ago. He had lost his business before that. He told Marcus these things simply, without drama, the way you talk about weather. How did you keep going? Marcus asked one morning. Robert looked at the trees for a moment. Then he said, I stopped trying to get back what I lost. I started trying to see what was still there. Marcus thought about this for a long time. He started to make a list. Not a list of what he had lost. A list of what he still had. He had his health. He could walk. He could think. He could read. He had Leo. His son was 7 years old and full of energy and love. Diana let Marcus see him on weekends. Leo always ran to him and jumped into his arms. That was real. That was his. He had time. For the first time in years, he had time to think. To ask himself what he really wanted. He had skills. He had spent 15 years working in design. He knew things. He could do things. When he looked at this list, the apartment did not feel so small. He started slowly. He took a free online course to learn new design software. He practiced every evening. He contacted old colleagues, not to ask for jobs, but just to talk. He signed up to help at a community center on Saturdays, teaching basic computer skills to older people. The community center job did not pay money, but it gave him something else. When a 70-year-old woman named Helen finally sent her first email to her daughter in another country, she turned to Marcus with bright eyes and said, "I did it." Marcus felt something warm in his chest. He had forgotten that feeling. Slowly, things began to move. A former colleague asked if Marcus could help with a small project. Marcus said yes. He worked hard. The client was happy. There was another project. Then another. He started to pay his bills more easily. He bought a small plant for his apartment window. It was green and alive. He liked to look at it in the mornings. One Saturday afternoon, Marcus was at the park with Leo. They were kicking a football. Leo was laughing loudly. His hair was wild. His shoes were already muddy. Marcus stopped for a moment and watched his son run. He thought about everything. The job he lost. The house. The cold months in the small apartment. The nights he didn't want to get up. And he thought about where he was now. He was not rich. His apartment was still small. His life was still simple. But it was his. He had built it himself, piece by piece, with his own hands. There was no luck in it. Only work and time and the decision, made again every single day, to keep going. Leo kicked the ball too hard. It rolled far away, past the benches, near the old trees. "I'll get it," Marcus said. And he ran. He ran fast, faster than he expected. The cold air was on his face. His feet were strong on the ground. He reached the ball, stopped it with his foot, and turned around. Leo was standing far away, small and bright in his red jacket, waving both arms above his head. Marcus waved back. Then he picked up the ball and walked back to his son. This story is for anyone who has ever felt like they lost everything. Losing is not the end. It is often the beginning of something more honest, more true. You do not need to have everything to have enough. Sometimes, empty hands are the first step toward building something real.